Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second episode of Hit Point Paints. My name is Liam, also known as Limes, and for the next hour, I'm going to be showing you a little bit of Heckna art that we're working on for the book. The stream is featuring some music from the Heckna soundtrack by Mint Potion. Before we get started, I have a few announcements from the team. The Heckna Early Access PDF is available for pre-order, along with some other physical goodies from the Revelia. The Fool's Gold Into the Bellowing Wilds Kickstarter campaign has just launched. Do you have what it takes to survive in a jungle where everything is trying to kill you? Be sure to check out that Kickstarter and definitely jump on that one while you can. You can find the Big Bad broadcast on the last Tuesday of every month right here on the Hit Point Press channel. Every month in a 5e actual play stream, the party takes on a new baddie from our Big Bad booklet series. We hope to see you there. You can also catch up on the last two episodes on our YouTube channel. More information and any links can be found in the chat. Thanks again for joining me today. Now, let's get started on a little bit of art. So what we're working on here today is going to be just a simple sign that is going to be prepared for the Heckna book, and it'll be made and ready to receive any text that we're going to want to add to it in the future. So I already have my rough sketch here. Everything's all set up, and I'm going to jump right into inking. And any questions that you might have for me about the art or my process as we go along, I'd be more than happy to field. If I had final say on what was going to be going on this sign, it would honestly probably be a very standard keep out sort of deal. I see a question there from Solo Studios on how long have I been a professional artist? I've been a professional artist for about 10 years now. I graduated from Sheridan College, and I'm actually the in-house animator here at Hit Point Press, but I also fill in and do illustrative work where we need it. If you're interested in seeing some of the animation I've already done for Hit Point Press, you can find some of that on my Twitter, but also on Hit Point Press's official Twitter. See a question from Cartoonist. Do you have a personal favorite part of the professional art process? Thumb, sketching, lines, color, etc. I am actually a big fan of what I'm working on right now. I really do like the inking process, and just I like doing very technical, fiddly little bits, which I would say this definitely qualifies as. And in direct opposite of that, I think one of my weakest points is probably choosing colors. Although I get there eventually, the initial process of picking a palette is a little tough for me sometimes. Question from Ali Mackey. Outside of what I do for Hit Point Press, what are my favorite things to draw? Generally, I like doing character art and character design, and I'm also a big fan of Pokemon fan art because, you know, there's a lot of those guys and they look different. Thank you for the compliment on the avatar. It is a photo I took this morning. Did I do work for the animated spell cards? I did. I have done a few of them. One of the ones that you can see that I know has been posted to the Twitter has been Shape Change Creature. Which may be pretty far in the archives at this point, but I did do that one and I'm quite proud of it. It's a fun little card. Question, favorite Pokemon? That's an impossible question. How could you ask me that here on the spot? For alligator, probably. It's my go-to favorite. All right, so I've done my most basic of inking here. Doing just a flood fill now to get my base set up. I'm not worried about this being my final color choice. This is more like a reference layer than anything. I am hoping that the next time I get to do one of these, I'll be able to showcase a little bit of my animation process. As it stands at the moment, I'm not currently working on any animation. Not to say no animation is currently being done, just not that I'm working on it right now. So hopefully by the time my next stream comes up, I'll have something slated and we can do a little bit of that on Hit Point Paints. All right. So I've got my reference layer good to go. I'm going to create a clipping mask on the layer above it. Adjust these colors a bit. What we should do here is probably be a bit of more intense green light. I'm going to start picking out some high highlights. Change the color of these points a little bit. Yeah. So Allie's now asking, what's been your favorite project so far on Heckna, if you're allowed to disclose? I was actually responsible for, I believe, all of the animated spell cards for Heckna. So working my way through those has been a really fun and unique challenge for me. But I believe Heckna was also the first time that I actually got to do some full-blown illustrations that are going to print. I've done animation before that has been published, but never a still illustration, to my knowledge. If I'm forgetting some work that I've done in the past, I apologize to the person I did it for. Thank you very much for the compliments on those Heckna animations. Some of them, in my humble opinion, are pretty cool. Got a question from Cartoonist that says animation is a wild, time-consuming beast. How long does it generally take to bust out one of those animated spell cards? And to that I say that can vary wildly depending on the complexity of the character on the card, the action that's happening, and just the amount of stuff that's going on, as well as any number of revisions or changes that we decide to make over time. But the simplest cards can be completed from sketch to final in 3 or 4 solid work days, and generally don't take longer than a week. But that's keeping in mind that each one of those cards is exactly 8 frames of animation, so 8 drawings. Oh, thank you very much for the comment of the purple shadow with the green highlight. When it comes to doing Heckna work, I tend to lean towards more outlandish and I would say borderline garish palettes, some of which I have taken too far at times and been asked to rein in. And in retrospect, yeah, that's the right call. I did some pretty ugly stuff, even if it was intentional initially. But it's all part of the process, right? Sometimes something you think looks pretty neat when you first make it, when it's another pair of eyes get on it, you just need to be gently nudged back in the direction of something that eyeballs can actually stay on for more than a couple seconds. It is a delicate balance between Heckna versus eyeball health, for sure. Go through a bit now and make some of this line work disappear. And what I'm doing here is actually just coloring my existing inks. So they are still serving a purpose, and it was still important that I do the cleanup on this so that I can use these lines for exactly this reason. And whether I'm working on something like this or an illustration that involves characters, my process is exactly the same. So now I'm not sure if what I want on this signpost is going to be more like a parchment color. Which is part of the reason why I'm doing this on its own layer, because I know I'm going to be fiddling around with it and adjusting the textures and colors of this one quite a bit, completely separate from the colors of the signpost for now. little flecks and scraps, pieces of paper that have been peeled off over time. Probably stand to add even more damage to the paper now that I'm really thinking about it. But I'll start by getting this flat base layer in. I could be flood filling this, but I'm also using this time to think about what I want out of it. So it may seem less efficient, and technically it is, but I am using this time for other considerations while I work on it and fill it in a bit. So I think what I'm going to do some peeling parts. Paper is pulling away from the wood. I think that'd be just the slightest hint of where it sinks in between the boards here. Question: if you entered the Revelia, where would be the first place you visit? I mean, wherever the food's at, to be honest. I'm sure all of it is absolutely perfectly safe to eat, extremely appetizing, real food, and I definitely want some of that. I have utmost confidence that no part of the Revelia has ever failed any health and safety checks in the history of its existence. That's true. You cannot fail a health and safety check. That never happens. That Heckna guy is absolutely one step ahead of those health inspectors. I've made some of the highlighted lines disappear, so I'm to make some of the ones in shadows fall back just a little bit. That was maybe too much. So try that again. Find those edges. Hit them with a bit of a darker color. Make them pop. Oh gosh, what would I name my schnozzling if I had one? I mean, did they make good pets? Would the schnozzling not have me? Little Lime Jr. There it is. I didn't need to come up with a name. Chat did it. Little Lime Jr. could go along with my actual real life cat, Lemon. And for the record, much as chat has named my schnozzling I didn't name my cat either. She came with it. Obviously, it was meant to be, as she is Lemon and I am Limes. You know what I think this sign needs? It needs more texture. I think we're gonna have to dip into... I had watercolor brushes. Well, I don't know if I can safely load those without other file names showing up, so we're just gonna wing it with some other ones. Question. Frankie says hello. You tell Frankie that she is a perfect animal. You kiss that cat. Please. She needs it. If there are any viewers who are a little bit confused, I highly recommend you tune into our Big Bad streams where we do live Let's Plays. And the DM of those episodes has a good little cat named Frankie who occasionally makes cameos, so definitely worth watching. I mean, Frankie's a great bonus, but the games themselves are just a load of fun, and strongly recommend tuning in. Question: have you ever run D&D? Answer: yeah, I believe I've run more games than I've played. The last one was a long-term game which I played with a group of friends over the course of 2 or 3 years before the campaign came to a quiet end. Maybe not quite a resolution, but we were done playing that game. So personally in between games right now, but looking to pick up another one soon, I think. Would love to run Curse of Strahd campaign. I did also recently do a one-shot of Humblewoods for some friends of mine, and that was also quite a bit of fun, but was never intended to be a long-form version of the game. So I think what I'm gonna do is, even though I know that this final piece is gonna be on a white background, I am going to drop the colors of this background there for now, just so I can better see some of the contrast that's happening here. really start to soften up some of these lights and edges. You're running the Lost Mind of Phandelver right now? That's such an excellent little campaign. It's just very tightly written, I think. And a lot of fun. And I hope you're having a lot of fun with it. Solo Studios, are you new to D&D? Is this your first time running a game? Or are you a seasoned expert? I've been playing and DMing for several years now. Awesome. It's a good game. I really like the Dungeons and Dragons. And being able to work on D&D content is just an absolute dream for me. So absolutely love it here at Hit Point Press. Super, super happy to be part of such an amazing, awesome team of people doing such fun projects. Question, which do you like more, the dungeons or the dragons? I'm probably gonna split some hairs here, but it's gotta be the dungeons for me. You can't put a puzzle in a dragon. I mean, like, you could, but you fit more puzzles in dungeons than dragons, I think. And I, an absolute puzzle fiend. Much to the chagrin of my players, who just want to fight dragons, and I ask them to do math instead. What if the puzzle is inside the dragon? What if the dragon ate it? Well, I mean, there's more than one way to get a puzzle out of a dragon. I suppose. Extracting the puzzle safely is step one of the puzzle. And I can see that one of our big bads is also a puzzle, and that would be the Hydrail, which is a big old snail, which I, to my shame, have not read the full campaign of, so I guess I know what I'm doing after work today. I'm getting in on some Hydrail action. All right. Let's do a little bit more line coloring here to knock back the outline of this parchment, so it's a little less cartoony. So what I'm going for this piece is still very much a cartoony vibe. I don't want to have no intention of making it a photoreal render or anything along those lines. It's very much meant to be stylized. So I'm just going to knock back these lines. And I think we're going to wrap it up for the day once I'm done with this. So if there's any other questions, anybody wants to sneak in at the end here, I'd be more than happy to quickly knock one of those out. And yeah. So just so we can quickly see what we did today. This is what we started with at the top of the hour. It's just a rough little sign. And in that time, we managed to get some inking in, slam down some solid colors, throw in some shading, and bring a little sign to life with woefully neglected grass at the base of it. But we'll get there. We will get there. So, what's the sign part of? The sign is going to be part of the Revelia. It's a little spot piece of extra art for the Heckna book, which is going to contain some text. The exact nature of which I don't actually know. Bring a sign to life? Yeah, well, it might be a mimic. You might be onto something. All right, so with that complete, I'm going to have to start to wrap things up for this stream. Thanks to everyone for coming and joining us today for this second episode of Hit Point Paints. I hope you enjoyed seeing some of the process behind creating some of the illustrations for the Heckna book. I hope you check out our Twitter and our website to both check out some of the other awesome art that's been created for the Heckna book and also pre-order Heckna. You can check the links to get an early access Heckna PDF and the Fool's Gold Into the Bellowing Wilds Kickstarter campaign, I have to mention, is live now. And all of those links will be in the chat. We hope to see you at the next Big Bad broadcast. And you should keep an eye on our socials for a bunch of other new content that we're planning to release on our channel. Hit Point Paints will be a series that we continue to put on in the future, and we look forward to seeing you there, especially featuring some of the other awesome artists that we have working for our team. And I will be back in a later episode as well, but not the next one. So take care, everybody. Thanks again for joining us.